Hello and welcome to the Adventure Toolkit example reel number 4. My name is Glenn Storm and I'm from Hot Iron Productions. Today we're going to go over the last of the tools from the Action folder in the Adventure Toolkit. Let's start with the Teleport Trigger. The Teleport Trigger tool is designed to teleport one object to a target. In this case I've got a cube and I'm going to teleport it to this target. The target's been positioned and rotated. Let's look at some of the properties in the Teleport Trigger. First is Teleport Object. This is the game object reference of the object to be teleported, that is the cube. Next is Teleport Target Object. This is the game object reference of that holds the position and rotation information for the teleport, in other words, where the cube will move. Next is Teleport Delay. This is the number of seconds from the activation of this tool until the teleport happens. Next is Ignore Rotation, and if this checkbox is checked, it will only teleport the position and leave the rotation of the cube the same. Next is Use Fixed Update. If you're dealing with something that uses rigid body physics or some such schedule, you will want to have this checkbox checked so things are staying in sync, but for most cases you can leave this unchecked and it will update every frame. Last is Reset on Trigger, and if this is checked, it will deactivate the tool after the teleport and leave it ready for reactivation so you can use it over and over again. Okay, let's hit play. Let's activate our Teleport Trigger. You'll see it waited half a second, and while it was doing it, it was drawing a line indicating that a teleport was about to happen, and it showed us a target where the teleport was going to go to. Let's go ahead and hit Ignore Rotation just to show that when that happens, we will teleport the cube but leave the rotation the same. Okay, that's the Teleport Trigger. Let's move on to Time Dilator. This tool, the Time Dilator, is meant to alter the rate at which time passes in the game world. This is powerful because it will affect everything from animation to particles to movers, and it will happen globally. So you want to use this if you want to do slow motion effects or fast motion effects. Let's take a look at the properties. First is time dilation, and this is the rate at which the time will appear to pass. In this case we've set it to 0.25, in other words we're going for a slow motion effect. Next is time dilation delay. This is the delay in seconds from the activation of this tool until the time dilation effect begins. Next is time dilation duration, and this can get a little tricky because this is the number of seconds at which the time dilation effect will take, but because we're dilating time, you don't want to get confused how long that is going to be. So the next property is dilate duration, and if this is checked as we have here, then it will automatically do the math for you and make sure that this field, time dilation duration, is talking about real world seconds, not game seconds. In other words, we're going for a slow motion effect of 0.25 and we want it to last 5 real-time seconds, and then we want the effect to end. So by checking this box, we're making sure that time dilation duration actually means real world seconds. The last property is Reset on Complete, and if checked, again, this will deactivate the tool and get it ready for reactivation so you can use it over and over again in the same scene. Okay, let's go ahead and hit play. We're going to see our character running. We're going to see some movers moving. We're going to go ahead and activate the time dilation tool, and after half a second we'll see a slow motion effect begin. And this is happening globally. This is over the entire scene. And after 5 seconds of that, it stopped and the regular time came back. Okay. That's the Time Dilator tool. Last but not least, we have the Volume Thruster. Okay. Volume Thruster tool is meant to take any object that is working off of physics, like rigid body, and thrust them in a particular direction as long as it's within a particular volume. Okay. In this case, we've got a thrusting volume. It's a box collider. It is set to is trigger, and that's required for this tool. Then let's look at the properties of the volume thruster tool. First is the thrust vector. We're defining the direction at which the thrust will happen, and this is a normalized vector, but you can alter the direction in which the thrust happens, and there's some indication in the scene window what direction that is. As I move the vector around, you can see it change here. Okay. So it's going to move up and in this right direction. Next is thrust magnitude, and this is how strong that thrust is going to be, how much it's going to throw stuff. So as long as something is within this volume and it's controlled by physics, like rigid body physics, it's going to be thrust in that direction. The last property on this tool is called valid collider. If you only want a particular object or a particular object's collider to be affected, then you can give it this reference in this field here, and all others will be ignored. Okay. In this example, we have some objects that are going to fall into this volume, and they're going to be thrust in that direction indicated by that little line, and by this magnitude indicated by this wireframe sphere here. I'm going to set it's 15, and let's go ahead and hit play. Let's go ahead and activate our objects, and they're thrown in that direction. Okay, that's the volume thruster, and that's all the tools in the action folder. Thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned for the next one, where we go over the audio folder.